There are new rules in the NFL, so say it the 32 team owners after their annual meeting in Palm Beach, Florida, that I assume involve too much cologne and not enough shrimp. But if they're new, then they must be better, right? Wrong! Actually, I like quite a few of them. We're talking new overtime rules, the death of the chain gang, and the Tush Push, which didn't get banned. Yet. But it's hanging over our heads like the sword of Damocles, and I'm dropping a dime on everyone who's against it. That's right, I got a list. But unlike Santa, I'm not checking it twice because I'm nearsighted and reckless. Welcome to Shut Up Football. I'm Jeff Stoltzfus, that's Kevin. We're breaking down the NFL's new rules so that when it comes game time, you're not forced to listen to Tony Romo or Tom Brady explain it. Some say I'm a hero. We're gonna start at the end because I'm an anarchist. NFL overtime just got a whole less stupider, as now both teams will get a chance to possess the ball. Previously, fans were stuck cheering for a stupid coin flip, because the team that won the toss and took the ball won the game 75% of the time. So says Sports Radar, whatever that is. Now each team gets the ball in overtime, and if they both end up scoring a touchdown, well then the next score wins the game. It said score, not touchdown, so I assume a field goal would do it. This isn't exactly new. These are the rules for playoff overtime, set back in 2022 after the Bills were boned in an overtime loss to the Chiefs, where they never touched the ball. So now regular season overtime matches playoff overtime, with the exception that it can end in a tie if no one scores by the end of the 10-minute period. Both teams having their offense see the field is not only logical, but fair. But beyond that, I think it adds a new opportunity for strategy. Before, if you won the coin flip, you were obviously going to take the ball, but now, it's not guaranteed. I'd argue it's favorable to get the ball second, because you've already seen what the other team did. So there's another level of gamesmanship here as we see who plays to win versus who plays not to lose. The NFL is free of its shackles. Starting this season, the NFL will adopt Sony's Hawkeye technology as its primary method for measuring the line to gain. Hawkeye is a new Sony camera system used for measuring first downs, consisting of 6 8K cameras, which, if my math is correct, is over 24,000 Ks. That's so many Ks. Okay. This enhanced virtual measurement system enhances accuracy and efficiency in determining the distance between the spotted ball and the line to gain. After extensive testing last season, the technology is set to bring a greater precision and speed to NFL officiating. Why is this called Hawkeye when this is clearly Ultron? This kind of technology would have been extremely helpful last year when the Bills were boned in the playoffs against the Chiefs. Which means we can get rid of the NFL's so-called chain gang. No more running around the field with chains like the ghost of Jacob Marley. That's right, I just went Dickens on your ass. Charles Dickens. These are prescription. Technically, the chain gang is still there on the sidelines, serving as a backup, just in case some malicious youth trips the breakers mid-game. Although, I guess then the cameras wouldn't work either. But, and I can't stress this enough, this is only helping to spot the distance from the original line of scrimmage and where the ball is spotted, which is still controlled by the on-field ref's best judgment, so there's still room for human error. This is only the 1.0 in using technology for on-field measurements. The 2.0 would be replacing the refs to spot the ball, but this is an important step in the right direction to removing humans from football. Come on, robotic kaijus! Every time new tech comes to the game, it improves, like the Skycam, tablets on the sidelines, or whatever is keeping Jerry Jones alive. I have no doubt we'll get there eventually. If they can put Wi-Fi in my toaster, we can get electronic spotting of the ball. Then all we have to worry about is manipulation by hackers funded by sports betting apps. What a time to be alive! Owners also approved expansion for replay assist. You can now use replay assist to review penalties like face mask, horse collar tackle, hitting a defenseless player, tripping, and roughing/running into the kicker. These can all be reviewed now and overturned by the booth, with one specific caveat. There must have been a flag on the play, which isn't really that big a deal because They're looking to overturn errors made on the field, not missed calls. Say, for instance, last year, when the Texans were boned in the playoffs against the Chiefs and called for roughing the passer twice, even though video replay showed that that was not the case. Those potentially could have been overturned. However, if no flag was thrown, then they're not looking at anything. They're trying to get things right, but not at the cost of the speed of the game. That's part of the reason why they were convinced of the Hawkeye system. It reportedly saves 30 to 40 seconds between plays, which they can then use to sell you beer. But let's talk about everyone's favorite part of the game, touchbacks. It's all the kids are talking about on TikTok or the hot new app that came out since I started this sentence. Taking a touchback on a kickoff now gives you a starting position of the 35-yard line. If you recall last season, the NFL changed the NFL kickoff rules pretty significantly in an effort to save it. It was basically a useless play as most took a touchback. So they implemented the ironically named dynamic kickoff and moved touchbacks to the 30-yard line. And it kinda worked. Kickoff returns increased to about 33% in 2024, up about 10% from the previous year. But I guess that's not enough, so the owners got together and fixed it by moving touchbacks to the 35-yard line. That'll teach you for taking a touchback. You want some more?
Yes.
Keep running that mouth and we'll move it to the 40.
So?
45. You want some more?
Yes.
50. You done?
Not even close, bud.
That's it. You're starting from the owner's box.
What can I say? I'm thrilled.
Can't wait. I guess they think they're incentivizing kickoff teams to not kick it out the back of the end zone. In 2024, roughly 64% of kickoffs resulted in touchbacks. Also, injuries were reportedly much lower. It's hard to feel one way or the other about this rule. We'll just have to see how it plays out. But it feels weird. We've gone from the 20-yard line to the 35-yard line in 2 years. The starting position keeps moving forward, and the range for these kickers keeps getting longer. I couldn't confirm exactly how many kickers made field goals from over 50 yards last year, but it felt like more. I know for sure 3 kickers converted field goals of over 60 yards. These two things are getting closer. I hope this helps the game, but I still have a lot of issues with the dynamic kickoff. Watching one lonely kicker start the game is so anticlimactic. It's like the running of the bulls, except there's only one bull. There are no changes to the onside kick just yet, but they're likely to revisit that at the May meeting. Not being able to attempt one until the fourth quarter didn't seem like such a big deal at the time, until the Chiefs were boned by it in the Super Bowl. Who saw that coming? Flexing Thursday night games got a slight tweak. Previously, they were required 4 weeks' notice to change the scheduled matchup. Now, just 3. Teams can wear their throwback or alternate jerseys up to 4 times a season. That's an increase of 1 whole game. There's a few other minor tweaks to the uniform rules, but sadly, pants remain mandatory. Teams are now allowed to speak to free agent players directly during negotiating windows. This replaces the old method of passing notes during French class. Teams can have 1 video or phone call with no more than 5 prospective, unrestricted free agents and can book travel upon agreeing to terms. Previously, teams were only allowed to have contact with agents, not players, until free agency officially began. That's how tampering babies are made. It's what bit the Falcons last year with Kirk Cousins, and it's honestly a bit silly because everybody already does it. A couple of failed agendas, both by the Lions. They proposed to eliminate automatic first downs on certain defensive penalties. Everyone said no thank you. They also proposed to alter the playoff seeding. They wanted wildcard teams with better records to seed higher than teams who won their division, but have an overall worse record. Not sure what the thinking is there. And finally, the Tush Push. Disclaimer, I am for the Tush Push for 2 reasons. The first of which is I'm an Eagles fan, so I don't care if they have a play where they pick up Jalen Hurts and run him battering ram style into the defense. I will cheer for it. The Tush Push, aka the brotherly shove, has not been banned. Yet. But this isn't over. They decided to table their vote until their next meeting in May. The Green Bay Packers were the filthy bastards that proposed the ban. They have chosen the dark path, but they're not alone. Here are the other teams supporting the ban. Falcons, Bills, Cowboys, and the Rams. I get the Cowboys. They're a bitter rival. That's hater-rating, and I can respect that. The Packers cited player safety and pace of play. Pace of play? What? What?
Push it in and out at a meeting. medium pace.
Injury concerns are valid, but there's currently no data that it's causing more injuries. Still, the NFL's medical experts emphasize to teams there is a potential injury risk, unlike every other play in the NFL, or just walking onto the fucking field.
It's just a bunch of gibberish. Act like they forgot about Dre.
Sean McVay echoed a different sentiment, one that I've heard before. He said, "It doesn't look like a football play to him. Most say it looks like a rugby play." And I hate this argument because I love football and I love history. So it should come as no surprise that I love football history. To say it's not football is to be ignorant of the history of the sport. College football in the 1800s was born out of rugby. It was entirely massive scrums for years. College football was played for 30 years before there was a legal forward pass. And even after it was introduced, it was discouraged. So don't tell me it's not football. It's old school football. But here's why I think banning the tush push is inevitable. I think Roger Goodell is for it.
There are safety issues that are being considered in that case. We have very little data from it, but it's beyond data. There's also, there's the mechanism of injury that we study, that type of thing.
We have very little data, but you have to go beyond the data? Sounds to me like you don't care about the data. Roger Goodell doesn't like the tush push, but he can't wave a wand to get rid of it. They tabled the vote until the May meeting for one simple reason. They don't have the votes. They need 24 of the 32 teams to sign off on this, and right now, they only have about 16 votes, half the league on board, which tells me two things. One, there's going to be politicking going on as they work to secure more votes. And two, they want this to happen this year. Some of the teams are against banning it, believing a team shouldn't be punished just for doing something better than everyone else. But that's not the discussion. They're not framing this as a ban on the tush push. The discussion is about going back to the 2004 language about pushing and pulling players, which the NFL abandoned at the time because they felt it was too difficult for the refs to officiate it consistently. Changing that language was what allowed the Eagles to run the play. If they simply roll back that change, it would ban all pushing and pulling of any ball carrier, which should apply to other plays as well, like running backs getting shoved by their entire team into the end zone. So this will affect more than just one play. And the entire thing is wrapped in the guise of player safety, which everyone is for. If they can't secure the votes needed this year, I assume this will drag on until the day that they can. Thank you for watching Shut Up Football. If you like stupid football videos, check the video description for more. Leave your comments below. Say hi to your mom for me, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace!
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys. It sound right, boy.
We're fucked!